Now playing the Hook and Bridge podcast.
I fucking love Kesha. I'm telling you, I'm the worst person to have a podcast. I can barely speak.
Oh my god, I love Green Day!
What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Hook and Bridge podcast. I am your host, Harley, joined by my co-host and little sister, Taylor, and as always, my executive producer and lovely wife, Lindsay, and a very, very warm welcome to David Cook on the show today. David Cook was the 7th season winner of American Idol. His new single, Dead Weight, is out right now. And you can go to www.davidcookofficial.com for all of his dates. David, how are you?
I'm good, man. I think you hit all the things I wanted to promote. So,
all right. Well, thanks for coming on.
Take care, guys. Yeah.
So Dead Weight, man, what an incredible single to pop out in 2024. Your last album was 2015, correct?
Last full length, yeah, it was 2015. I've done a series of EPs since then, and I think the last EP though might have been 2021, 2020. So tail end of the pandemic. Whenever we're flagging that, I guess. So yeah,
awesome. So the song "Dead Weight" is very, very different, I would say, for your sound. I always, every song that you've had over the years to me was more of like a 2000s like alternative rock, Switchfoot, sort of like who's that band that sings "Hanging in the Moment"? Or Lifehouse, yeah. Yeah, I always felt that you were more of that kind of guy, and this one is a little poppier on the vocals, but the music is much heavier than what I'm used to from you. Is that a purposeful choice or just trying something new out?
Sort of a conscious thing, sort of an unconscious thing. The unconscious part, I think, happened more in just the songwriting process. I'm talking to you from my home studio at my house in Nashville, and most of the time I'll sit down here and noodle around with an idea, and that's sort of where Dead Weight came from. And then getting into a studio with my producer Andy and kind of fleshing out the idea a little more. Andy's production sensibilities are always super interesting to me, and he'll pull references from things that like I would have never thought to listen to. We did one song, I'm blanking on the name of it off the top of my head now, but where we kind of stole a vocal trick that was in a Niall Horan song.
Oh, okay.
And so, yeah, it's just, I think for us, the way Andy and I work, there's this shorthand of like kind of pulling inspirational things from songs that we're into at that particular moment, and mixing them with sort of whatever the natural aesthetic is that I'm bringing to the table as a songwriter.
Right. Now, you and Andy have been friends for most of your career at this point.
I knew Andy before he was old enough to drink. I knew Andy before he was old enough to buy cigarettes. So,
yeah. You guys were together a long time, all the way back right out of high school, right?
So Andy, I didn't know Andy when I was in high school. Andy's a few years younger than I am, but so the band that I was in out of Kansas City, this band called Axiom, we started kind of finding some traction regionally. And we started trading shows with this band called Midwest Kings out of Tulsa, Oklahoma. And Andy was the singer in that band. We did a couple like short tours together. And then when my band started to kind of run its course, I ended up joining Midwest Kings and moving to Tulsa and being the rhythm guitar player. Our friendship sort of got solidified from that. And then when Idol happened, I ended up pulling a couple of guys from that band to be in my band, and still really close friends with them. So it's one of those relationships that's sort of survived some of the chaos that can come with a platform like Idol.
Right. Yes, I'm sure there was a lot of chaos on Idol, especially during that time. So, but a little more on Andy. So you guys have been friends for a long time. Did he? So I know you're saying you're producer, Andy, but did he help co-write the lyrics on this? Or
so Deadweight specifically, I went in with sort of a complete chorus idea, and a melodic idea of what I wanted to do with the verse, but not really like a firm vocal top line melody or lyrics. The bridge did not exist. And so that's more where Andy came in. And Andy and I have worked on songs before. We have a song that he and I and our friend Neil wrote called "Goodbye to the Girl" that was on my second RCA release. And, Andy's musical sensibilities have always, I've always been kind of in awe of them. And so any chance that I've had to utilize him in my creative process, I've always tried to, because he's one of those like annoyingly super talented people. It's like, I'm so glad he's like part of my creative world. And at the same time, it's just like, dude, like, why can't I have good ideas like this?
Every time you come in with something, you're like, man, can't I just have one thing that you're not good at?
Well, it's like, I'll get done with a demo here at home and I'll be like, what, I think that sounds pretty good. I bet Andy's going to be really impressed with this. And I'll take it over there and we'll record like a studio version of it. And it will sound so much better than what I've done. It's almost like I love hanging out with him and I never want to hang out with him. So, if he's watching this, Andy, I love you, and I'm just joking around. But if he's not watching, that guy can kiss my ass.
Nice.
There's your soundbite. That's that.
So speaking of like the Idol side of things, and I have a lot of great questions, but I steered away from most of the Idol stuff just because I'm sure you get asked a lot about it, and just curious, like, at the tail end of the process after you've won, do they kind of push you to do certain things, like set up to have a band set up to go on to, or do they support, or do they kind of pull back and say, okay, show's over, good luck?
No, I think when I was on, the show was such a juggernaut that, I think now, like, if you win the show, you're guaranteed a record contract, not necessarily a record.
Right.
And I'm saying that I have no inside baseball knowledge. So
kind of like they kind of lay away, they put you in
I think when I was on, there was such an appetite for that first record that it was a guarantee you were going to get a record.
Right.
And so, I think everything happened so fast once I came off the show. I mean, the finale of our season was like May 21st, and then my record came out like early November, which is like no time from like to create a record from whole cloth while on tour, because we were on the Idol tour, hawking Pop-Tarts for 2.5 months. It was I think I had like 2 or 3 days off from May to November. And they were all travel days. So it was a lot, but it I think a byproduct of that is there's really not a whole lot of time to second guess it. So I was sort of able to have more carte blanche creatively than I thought I was going to. Now the second record was a different conversation and different people involved, but Idol as its own entity was they're in support, but not necessarily trying to drive the wagon. Does that make sense?
Right. Yeah.
So,
that kind of makes sense.
Contractually obligated, like by winning, I was contractually obligated to either sign with Sony, or they had the right of first refusal to have 19 management be my management company, or they had the right of first refusal and go on the Idol tour. And I think I was obligated to go back one time the next season to perform, which I would have done anyway. So
Right.
Yeah, our deal wasn't very oppressive. Now I know every season's a little different. I know each deal gets negotiated differently and okayed by different people. So I would imagine that there were deals that might have been more oppressive. There might have been deals that were less oppressive. But ours was pretty cut and dry. I don't have any qualms about that deal.
Mm-hmm. No, I think it was a show that was really great, especially early on. Especially for somebody like you, that 7th season, you have this music career prior to Idol, and then you get basically the break of your life at that time, right? And then you go on, and they really help push your career moving forward. I've always been curious on the support after.
I think more than anything, like, what a sweet spot I fell ass backwards into. You know what I mean? Like, there was the only game in town. It was sort of near or at the peak of its popularity. I remember one of the craziest things that I had to kind of wrap my head around, I still not sure if I have, was the end of that year. So the end of 2008, the World Almanac came out.
Oh yeah.
The cover of the World Almanac.
On the cover.
It was me, Barack Obama, and John McCain. And
wow.
That's crazy.
Our season, there at the finale, there were over 100 million votes. That was more votes than people who voted in the presidential election of 2008.
Wow, man.
Stupid, and says it's like, if you think about it in the context of like voter engagement on a presidential level, it is the most depressing statistic. But from my standpoint, super flattering. But it's, I mean, that speaks more than anything to just what reach that show had at that point. And I've said, since then, to anybody willing to listen, I think when Idol and the other shows of that ilk are at their best, they are promoting and lifting up the contestants, and allowing the viewing public to invest in them as performers and as people. Like, I've had a 15, 16 year career now, based on the fact that Idol allowed an audience to get to know me and get to know me as a performer for 4.5, 5 months.
Right.
Now it's so truncated. I think more of the headlines get wrapped up in who's judging, that those opportunities kind of get lost, which is unfortunate. But hopefully I do like the Idol's recent hiring of Carrie as I like the idea of an alumni being there, somebody who's kind of been through the ringer with it and can maybe give some insight from that point of view. I think that's awesome. And knowing Carrie, I'm sure she'll kill it. And hopefully I can score some tickets. We'll see.
I was just gonna say, Taylor, I know you had a couple of questions.
I actually had a couple of Idol questions.
I know.
By the way, I just before you ask this, I just want to be clear. I have no qualms about Idol questions. We can make this whole interview that if that's what you want. Like, fire away. I love talking about Idol.
That's great. I only have 2 questions, and they're both about Idol.
Let's go.
I love that.
Are you just checking out after? I had some dessert that I set aside after.
Yeah, I actually have to go eat the rest of my dinner. So if I could just have my questions answered.
I'll try to make my answers short, though.
Do you think that you would still go down the path of a music career if you weren't on the Idol? Was that still something that you wanted to do, or was it afterwards? I mean, obviously you just talked about how it opened a big door for you to be able to do that, but do you think you would have picked a different path?
I don't know if I would have picked a different path. I think a different path would have probably chosen me. I went to college. I got a graphic design degree, and bartended for a couple years in Tulsa after college while I was playing with that band. And when Idol came along was about the same time I got my first like graphic design job offer. And I remember it was right before Hollywood Week. And so I go in to this meeting where they're offering me the job, right? And I'm like, I absolutely want this job. Here in like 2 or 3 weeks, because at that point we were all under a gag order. We couldn't tell anybody anything.
Mm-hmm.
And so I have this thing, and I can't tell you what it is, but I'm going to need a week off, like 2 weeks into me starting this job. And of course they're like, well, yeah, not going to happen. You know, so you have to make a decision. So I said no to that job without really knowing if Hollywood Week was going to pan out. So if Hollywood Week hadn't panned out, I probably would have gone back and just begged for that job. I'm sure I'd still be playing music. And I think 24, 25-year-old Dave was probably arrogant enough to think like, I'll figure it out somehow. Like I'll make it to where I want to go with or without Idol. But being on the other side of it now and having a little bit more perspective, I mean, I don't know that you get opportunities like Idol more than maybe once, if at all. And so, yeah, I think I would definitely, I'd put money on me doing something else in music as a hobby, but who knows? Good thing is I don't have to know. So
Yeah, it worked out.
yeah. And what was your second question?
So from your first performance on the Idol to your last, how do you feel your vocals progressed along with your stage presence?
I think both progressed by way of a newfound confidence in my abilities. I was not a confident person, and I still struggle with like, even now I still struggle with like imposter syndrome and all of that shit. But yeah, I think Idol was really the first time in my adult life where I felt like I had something of worth to offer, like professionally, like as a musician. I was like, okay, like it was just like confirmation after 10 years of being told no, like, oh, I'm not a shit singer. Like maybe I can hang out here for a little while. And so, yeah, I think my voice and performance and all of that was sort of became more informed as the season went on by me gaining a little bit more confidence in my ability to navigate the boot camp that is Idol. I mean, you know, going from like Dolly Parton week to Mariah Carey week to Neil Diamond week to 80s week. And it's just like, holy shit, I'm not falling flat on my face. So like, maybe I'm okay. It was just every week was like a little bit more affirmation. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Did that answer your question?
Yeah, it did. That was a great answer, actually.
Yeah.
Speaking
All right, well,
of,
enjoy your meal and
I'm gonna go eat now. See you later.
speaking of just your vocal talents, you were in a musical called Kinky Boots.
yes.
I watched several videos of you singing some of the songs from Kinky Boots. Very impressed with the drastic change vocally, the performative side of doing musicals. But it's not the first time you've been in musicals. So my question for you is, what would you say is better? Would you say Singing in the Rain is better, or would you say West Side Story is better?
Okay. I love that you're deep diving on this. So those two musicals I loved as a performer for very different reasons. I got to play Riff in West Side Story, which is like not the male lead, but like the male lead sidekick. And then the next year in Singing in the Rain, I got to play Cosmo, which is not the male lead, but the male lead sidekick. And
always a bridesmaid, never a bride.
It's this face built for radio. I liked Riff because I connected with his angst, oddly enough. it didn't hurt that. And spoiler alert if you haven't seen West Side Story, but like it's been a while. So Riff dies at the end of Act 1.
Yeah.
And there's a whole second act. So as a high school kid in a musical, I got to get all my stuff out of the way, save for like one like ghost scene. I got to get all my stuff done by the end of Act 1, and the whole second act, I could just hang out. Are you kidding me? Sold. I liked Cosmo. There was a physicality to that role that I really, really enjoyed at the time. Now I could absolutely not pull that role off. But the whole make 'em laugh sequence solo for Cosmo was an absolute blast to play. And I mean, it got me a college scholarship and and probably gave me the confidence to say yes to Kinky Boots, to be completely honest.
Yeah, what an interesting musical too. I mean, what Cyndi Lauper, right, does the score for that.
And Harvey Firestein, yeah.
Yeah. Harvey Firestein. But I just felt like
just to be clear, not Weinstein.
Not Weinstein.
I want to be clear on that for everybody watching.
No.
So yeah, your vocal lines on there were just much more operatic, and I thought it was very interesting. And your entire look was completely different at that stage of life. I was convinced it wasn't you. I was like, there must be another David Cook.
It's my Bizarro twin. Yeah, I remember signing on to do that role, and then being told I had to shave my beard, and I was like, shit.
It was so great.
Oh my god! We were talking earlier about like self-esteem and confidence and all that stuff. I'm telling you, I got rid of my beard and was just like, oh no, like all the confidence just left. It's like, this is some Samson shit.
Yeah.
You too.
But it was. I did not. I enjoyed playing Charlie. I enjoyed the hell out of that experience. I did not enjoy not having a beard. I don't. Yeah. Which is probably
covering up the tattoos also. I mean,
that was a whole thing. That was a whole thing. That was like 45 minutes to an hour every day of like applying makeup. And I don't have a whole lot of experience with it. So there were shows where you could absolutely see my tattoos and you'd get a little note from the director after the show, like, hey, I think you need to do a better job. But yeah, man, it's I being a Broadway outsider, not being a part of that world intricately, I was so nervous about sort of infiltrating it. And because I mean, in the back of your mind, like there's a ton of people that moved to New York to be on Broadway that could kill that role that weren't given the opportunity because some shithead from American Idol decided he wanted to try acting. Do you know what I mean? So I went in I was pretty trepidatious about coming in with the right attitude and wanting to just be like a cog in the machine, wanting to be part of the team. And they could not have been more open and welcoming, and which makes total sense. Like it's kind of the point of the show is about acceptance and leading with love. And but man, it was such a great experience just from top to bottom. I would do it again in a heartbeat. And some of my closest friends are people I met, working on that show. So in fact, one of theirs birthday is today. So Danny Sherman's birthday is today. Guy played Don when I was on Kinky Boots. So
happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Danny. Yeah.
So during high school, you were really into sports, and I was very curious.
I like how you said that. Yeah, you were really into sports.
It's a thing. But no, you specifically baseball, right? You played a lot of baseball. Do you feel that if you hadn't had such a love for the arts and theater, that you would have put that energy and talent into baseball and try more to be a professional MLB athlete?
So I had, coming out of high school, I kind of had it in my mind I was going to go play college ball. I was going to try to walk on at Indiana State as a left-handed pitcher, which is what I did through high school. And then I was playing summer ball and tore my shoulder out. That was it. And so I sort of pivoted to going to the University of Central Missouri, where the rest of my band guys from high school were going to.
Mm-hmm.
And we were just going to keep the band going, and I would figure out what to study there. And it's sort of I think music as a career option found me. I certainly didn't find it.
Right.
But I am one of those people still, like, to this, like, I do this, I'm involved in this charity event in Kansas City every year called Big Slick. And one of the things they do is it's like all these celebrities, we get together and we play softball before a Royals game out on the field at Coffee.
That's awesome.
And I take it entirely too seriously. The first
You're
year
there to win.
I bring my own bat. Like,
That's insane.
Yeah. And I get made fun of incessantly, as well I should. But I don't know why in the back of my head I'm like, I'm 41 years old, and I'm like, you know what? Somebody from the Royals is going to see me. And,
They're going to send you on in.
Maybe all this music stuff is literally just to get me here right now.
Right.
It's pretty pathetic, but
I love that, man.
It's I think when I was middle school or high school, I can't remember which, Garth Brooks signed a spring training contract with the Royals and played some spring training baseball with the Royals. And for whatever reason, I was like, that is like the height of a career. So, like, if I can do that, Royals, if you're watching, I would do that in a heartbeat. Just raise
we'll make
money
sure to tag them when we put
we'll get this out there.
I mean, I'm wearing the hat and all that stuff. So
when it happens, we just want a couple of tickets.
Yeah.
Deal.
Or like a shout out.
Yeah. We can make all this happen. We just like a patch on the jersey.
We got stickers.
There was that documentary on HBO, I think, a few years ago. It was Will Ferrell. And
Oh,
he played for 9
yeah.
different teams in a day.
Yeah.
Something like that would be rad as hell. You know what I mean?
That would be awesome, man.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm not Will Ferrell, but I a boy can dream. So,
so some of your influences are pretty epic. I saw that you're really into Our Lady Peace, Alice in Chains, Pearl Jam, Bon Jovi, Chris Cornell, the Goo Goo Dolls, Switchfoot, Collective Soul, Big Wreck. And all I can say is I think we're supposed to be best friends.
Yeah.
I did appreciate the music that was playing during the intro. I was like, okay. All right.
Well, I mean, Tulsa, Oklahoma.
I accept it. Is that where you guys are at?
No, but that's where Saliva's originally from. I think that's
right. Yeah, I don't know why I never made that connection until just now. Wow. Okay. Yeah.
But there are a lot of people that you have been inspired by you as well. And my curiosity is, out of the scene now, is there any musician that has caught your eye or band?
So I'll give you a couple, like, under the radar. There's an artist here in Nashville named Mooney who is doing really incredible, like, avant-garde pop indie alternative. I don't even know what to call it. It's just really, really great. And his rollout of records is next level. Like, he just put out a new record called Warning High Cube, and it comes out in conjunction with a film.
That's cool.
It's craziness, but so cool. I just found this band on Instagram called Nuns of the Tundra. Real like heavy riff rock, which is really great. Those two right now are sort of like they've, like, triggered my antenna. And then, I mean, as far as bigger bands, I love the latest Pierce the Veil record. I think that record's so good. I mean, I don't think Big Wreck has put out bad music ever. and they're putting out new music. I think they just put out like a 3 EP series within the last couple of years, and then getting ready to put out new stuff. And
Did you listen to the new Pearl Jam album?
I have. Okay, so I listened to it a little bit, and I enjoyed what I heard so much. But I was in the middle of a creative process, and that's sort of the only caveat that I have is like I try not to get too bogged down listening to something as a fan if I'm actively writing, because I don't want to be I don't get sued by Pearl Jam and losing because I can't. Yeah, they got better lawyers than I do. But it's one of those records like it's on the short list of like, all right, whenever it's like time to chill and I don't have to worry about writing for a minute, I'm gonna deep dive that record. But yeah, what I heard I loved, of course.
Yeah, it's so good. It's so good.
Because did they do this one with Brendan O'Brien?
I believe so. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, they brought him in to use it, and then they really captured that sound from 10 again, and it's next level, man. It's definitely.
10, I remember. So my older brother Adam, before he went to law school, he worked at the Sony pressing plant in Terre Haute, Indiana.
Oh,
that's cool.
And I remember one Christmas, I can't remember if it was my mom or my dad got me a Sony Walkman, like the old hubcap CD player.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Adam gave me it was like a gift bag full of CDs that he got from Sony. It was almost like a Columbia House subscription. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm dating myself, but oh well. And the two records that I gravitated towards from that stack were REM's Automatic for the People and Pearl Jam's 10. And I wore a hole.
Oh yeah.
10. That record, Jesus. I mean, it's like one of those cliche records to be like a fan of from that era, but there's a reason for it. It's because it's good.
Yeah. I mean, you got to be a fan of Nevermind because it's Nevermind. Like,
sure. Although I will be honest with you, and I tell people this, I've never been a huge Nirvana fan. I don't dislike them.
Mhm.
No, you can say it.
She feels that way.
No, I certainly respect like what they represented. But yeah, I don't know why that music, the Nirvana's catalog never really resonated with me as much as
that's
like
okay.
Soundgarden and Pearl Jam and Alice in Chains and other bands of that ilk.
right.
Sorry, I like Foo Fighters. I don't know if that matters. But.
That's also better than Nirvana. So
Taylor's convinced that we had Dave Grohl.
Taylor's saying some things here that I'm not necessarily trying to infer. I just don't want the hate mail. So
I'll take the hate.
Send your complaints to Taylor.
I'll take the hate. I am a Nirvana hater. I appreciate them for what they do and what they did.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, I'm not going to listen to nothing.
I mean, I would pick Nirvana over like most of the late 80s hair metal.
Yeah.
As I'm wearing a Kiss shirt.
I think
they're not hair. They're not hair.
I don't really put Kiss in the hair metal thing so much as I put them in like glam rock, which to me is sort of a different thing, but anyway.
So I have two more questions for you, and then we got this awesome game.
Okay, fire.
So the easiest one here is just if there was any genre of music that you would like to go into that you haven't experimented with yet, is there any specific things on the horizon? Is there anything that your heart is like, I know you love like all these great 90s bands. Are you still trying to kind of keep that alive? Or
I mean, I think the obvious answer is K-pop.
The Avril Lavigne route, man. I like it.
Yeah. No, I would I do tend to like veg out on like Damien Rice and some of Radiohead's softer songs, and so I think maybe at some point I might want to wrap my head around doing more of like a broken down, acoustic and a cello kind of vibe. But that's sort of my problem. I come down here and I'll start writing something. I'll be like, "Ooh, that could be cool with a cello," and I'll add a cello. And I'm like, you sound really good with this is like maybe just some light percussion underneath, and I'll do that. It's not really doing what I want it to do. Let me add some guitars and a bass and maybe some drums. And before you know it, I've written like this grandiose rock opera song that's like, well, that was what I was going to do. Yeah, one day creatively, I'm going to learn to get out of my own way and just stop a song before I add too many damn instruments to it.
It's called the too much gene. I have it too.
I got that. Yeah.
Don't know when to stop.
That gene is, I got it. Too much.
And then the last question that we ask all of our guests is the show is called the Hook and Bridge Podcast for a reason. Taylor is a wonderful co-host. She is the bridge of the show. A little more quiet, but an essential piece to the entire operation. I am the deep diver. I do a lot of the research and consider myself to be the entertainer of the show, the hook. And Lindsay is the and symbol that holds everything together. For you in your creative process when writing music, which is more important for you, the hook or the bridge of a song, or do you even utilize a bridge? I mean, typically you do, but
I'm really good at writing bridges.
Yeah.
really strong at that. The some would say the least consequential part of a pop song. I am definitely a music guy more so than like a lyric and a top line guy. I have so many half finished songs on my rig that are just all music. No attempt has been made to finish these songs because I get to a point where the song is like, I love this music, but I'm not hearing a melody. I'm not hearing a top line. I don't know that I have anything that I have to say right now. I'll get to it later, and then later becomes like 5 years down the line. I literally did this the other day. I went through all my Pro Tools sessions and to find music beds that I thought were still interesting. And then like, I've got like 14 of them listed over here that I'm going to have to sit down and try to write lyrics to.
Yeah.
I'm a bridge guy all day. Yeah. Sorry to hook and but
that's okay. The bridge never gets the appreciation that it needs on
that's true, because a bridge is so versatile. It could be another vocal melody. It can be just a music bed. It can be a guitar solo. It can be a piano solo. You know, it's a jack of all trades, a bridge.
Yeah.
So.
I love telling everybody when this conversation comes up that to me a bridge can elevate a song from good to great. It's that little thing that can make a song go from standing through 3 years and standing the test of time. Like every legendary song has a recognizable bridge. And I think that as a society, we're moving away from it, which is very sad. But I'm always in the same realm of just writing bridges is so important to the overall mix. So
I think I just figured out my next record. I'm going to write only bridges.
Oh!
I think you should release
shit, but I'm gonna do it.
If anything, it's a great title.
Fantastic.
Only bridges.
Only bridges. I think you should do just instrumental things. Everything that you have, you should just throw on a record.
Oh God, yeah, that's gonna be.
So here you go.
It's gonna be a hard pass for me, but yeah.
All right, so we've got this really fun game, and you're the first guest to ever play this particular game.
Oh my God! So it doesn't matter how I do. I'm going to set.
That is true, and you're not competing against us. This one is just for you, man. We're just rallying your points.
So this is sort of like inside the actor's studio, rapid fire questions.
Sort of, yeah, sort of.
All right, I'll take it.
So I'll go ahead and pull this up here. We usually have really fun intros for this game or these games, but this one I haven't made yet. But
That's
Taylor will do the vocals on it.
Is it the one she did the other day for our
show?
Oh,
this is fantastic. Oh, I can't
here
wait.
It comes.
Hook and Bridge Gaming presents a Hook and Bridge production. From the producers of the Hook and Bridge podcast. The Song Fact Game. Title pending? Right?
Okay.
So basically, these are facts about particular songs, and your job, David, is to figure out what the song is.
All right. Released in 1994, 237 million streams on Spotify. Opening word may remind you of a noise you make going down a roller coaster.
Sorry.
Lead singer tragically passed in April of 2002
Oh,
from this band's third album and was number 1 on the Billboard Top 100. God, the roller coaster thing would have made me think of Smashing Pumpkins 1979, but
Yes,
Billy
yes.
Corgan did not pass away in April 2002. He is still with us. Released in 94. All right, so what was 94? Was it Them Bones? Alice in Chains?
Ooh, so close. It is Alice in Chains.
Oh,
So we got one.
Okay.
Them Bones was not on their third studio album. Third studio album was Jar of Flies, if that helps. And you're nailing it with the Billy Corgan thing. It's the same word.
Because I think there's that meme video of like,
Yep.
we.
You're going to be really happy after this show. You'll be able to look up on YouTube. There's also one of Alice in Chains.
Oh, is there really? Oh God. I gotta pass. I don't know.
That's all right. That's right.
Song titles.
1 point for Alice in Chains, but the song, in fact, is Nutshell.
Eventually.
All right.
Eventually, there we go.
And I'm not gonna be able to sleep tonight, so I appreciate that.
All right.
Released in 84. All right. 457 million streams on Spotify. Album title may remind you of a common hazard sign along roads. Okay. American Idol winner David Cook performed another song from this album. The song was written with acoustic guitar because of a lack of acoustics on the radio at the time of release. Wanted Dead or Alive, Bon Jovi.
It is Wanted Dead or Alive by Bon Jovi.
All right.
I was thinking with the hazard sign, I was thinking Slippery When Wet.
That's
It
what I
is-
was
Windy
thinking.
Road?
And then when the acoustic is what yeah.
Yes, Richie
And acoustic.
Sambora.
Okay.
Mhm.
Released in 91, 340 million streams on Spotify, written about a tragic death of a boy who wanted revenge from his school bullies, Jeremy by Pearl Jam.
It is Jeremy by
He didn't
Pearl
even
Jam.
read the
He
last
didn't even
two.
need the last one.
No,
That last fact is so important, though.
many
Most-
words in this song are unintelligible. That could be any I love it. This is a good game.
It is. It's a good game. I like this one. I think that these last two, I believe. Yes, these last two are not in your wheelhouse.
Okay, released in 04, 382 million streams on Spotify, 2.7 million listeners every month. Artist was a teen heartthrob from another band. Friends with Ryan Cabrera. Had another massive hit titled What You Do When You Are No Longer in One Place But Have Decided to Move to Another. Things that fall from trees.
It is not apples.
It
I know
is not.
that last sentence might be a little confusing.
It is.
Not apples.
I wrote it very late at night the other night.
Fair enough. So I assume the title of this massive hit, you've changed the words of it.
Yes.
Yes.
So I have to decipher what another way to say that would be.
Yes.
What you do when you are no longer in one place but have decided to move to another. Artist was a teen heartthrob from another band. All right, so Jesse McCartney has always been a solo artist. Tyler Hilton's always been a solo artist and probably doesn't have 200 million listeners, 2.7 million listeners every month. Friends with Ryan Cabrera. Because we were talking before the show started about Pop 2K, and
Yeah.
it's part of Pop 2K. Is it somebody else involved with Pop 2K?
You know what? I'm going to give you a little bit.
Yeah.
You said his name.
You did.
Oh,
say
I did.
that.
Yeah. You're gonna kick yourself on this one.
Is it Jesse McCartney?
It is Jesse McCartney.
What band was he in?
He was in Dream Street before he was by himself.
No way am I going to know that. Jesse McCartney.
Yes, and it is not the hit song Leavin'. It is his other hit song. And leaving is something that you do when
You know what? All right,
Not
listen.
apples.
If I would have started this podcast by saying what an unadulterated fan of Jesse McCartney I was, I'd feel really bad about this. I'm going to pass.
Ooh,
Really?
Yeah, I have no idea what the song is.
Beautiful.
Yeah,
beautiful
not a
soul.
chance of getting that. Yeah,
It's a great song.
I'm
And
sure
then
I'll listen to it after.
this last
Released in
one.
2024,
Mhm.
559 million streams, 77 million listeners. Artist was known as a child star before. Travis Kelce knows this artist. Dart Simpson loves this artist.
You don't even
Okay,
know.
so some questions.
Uh-huh.
Who is Dart Simpson?
It is a YouTube thing that's going on right now.
God
Basically
damn,
an
I'm
impression
dating
of
myself
Bart
horribly right
Simpson.
now.
But
Is
more
this popular on YouTube?
more importantly, the Travis Kelce thing is the biggest hint here.
Yeah. I noticed that because it's in larger font.
It is
Yeah. All right, so I'm gonna assume it's Taylor Swift.
close. So
Wrong
very close.
assumption.
Well, like
Taylor
I said,
Swift is friends with this artist. I think that
Taylor
was
Swift is
it.
friends with this
Yes.
artist. Like always friends, or were they friends and then not friends, but now they're friends again?
I'd say more recently.
Definitely more recently, because there's at least a 10-year age gap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's like the hottest thing right now. Everybody's talking about
Literally.
her.
Is this Hot to Go by Chapel Rowan?
No.
Oh,
No.
great
Yes,
guess though.
That's
is
a
this
really good guess.
is this Olivia Rodrigo?
No.
also a
But
great
Olivia Rodrigo and the singer had beef
Oh shit.
recently. Yeah. They're friends now. But
Taylor is our
not Haley
resident
Williams from
Disney
Paramore.
expert.
No.
No, not Haley Williams.
I don't think she has any enemies.
No, she is too.
She's
She's
so
too
great.
nice.
nice.
God, guy or girl?
Girl.
Girl, okay. Really popular right now.
Her songs have been on the radio nonstop.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh no.
That's all right. I don't blame you.
Oh, no.
We've got Please, Please, Please by Sabrina Carpenter.
My heart.
Damn it.
I was gonna ask when you were talking about your music influences, how you felt about Sabrina Carpenter, and I didn't get the chance. And I feel like if I would have said that, you would have got it.
Well, now that it would have been fresher in my mind for sure.
Yeah.
I what I've heard of her musically, I like it. The only other thing I really know about her, I didn't know she was a child star.
Mhm.
I would not have made the Travis Kelce connection, even though I'm a diehard Chiefs fan. She's dating the dude, or was dating the dude from Saltburn.
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
the only
yeah.
thing I knew. I don't know
Yeah.
why I
Yeah.
didn't do that.
They are dating.
They are still okay. Good.
Yes. Yes. He is in her new music video.
Oh,
Man, I gotta catch up. I gotta stop listening to '90s grunge for a second.
Yeah, you need to
No,
listen to
keep it
more
alive,
Sabrina
man.
Carpenter.
it's you and me keeping those streams up.
That's right.
That's
That's
all.
right.
The only fan base right now.
I am far too competitive for what just happened.
Hey, 3 out of 5 is still winning.
That's failing.
Still passing.
Okay.
Nope.
If somebody beats me, just don't tell me. I'd rather not.
We got a bunch of games, man. We'll just have you back on for another one.
I'm in. Let's go.
All right.
That is a 60%.
I mean, it's a D-. It's not an F. So
Yeah, you still
is
get
true.
through college with that.
I
think.
graduated high school with a D- in trigonometry. So yeah, I'm all right.
Yeah. You can graduate to the next game.
Actually, I feel like the statute of limitations has run out. I can say this now. My Spanish teacher, my last day of senior year, gave me a sombrero. Later that day, I went to my trig class and I had an F. I gave him my sombrero, and he gave me the extra credit points necessary to get a D- so I could graduate. So big up to Mr. Deer King. Thank you so much. And I have used trigonometry 0 times since then. So.
Exactly.
You mean you don't use trigonometry when you're recording on Pro Tools? That's
Oddly
crazy.
enough, I tell people all the time, my job is basically predicated on can you count to 4 over and over and over again. If you can do that, you can be a musician. It's pretty easy.
Oh, this has been a fantastic show, man. Thank you so much for coming on and hanging
Thank you
out.
so much for having me, man. It's been a blast.
So like we said at the beginning of the show, new single Dead Weight is out right now. It's really, really fantastic. I really love that song.
Thank you.
And then if you would like to see David live, please go to www.davidcookofficial.com for all of his dates. Is there anything else that you want to promote?
I got some live streams coming up over on volume.com. The first one is the 22nd of August. And then we do those like 3 or 4 times a month, every month. So
that's cool.
Come join us, hang out. I sit here, I play acoustic guitar, I make myself a cocktail, and we have a chat. We do all sorts of fun stuff. So
Heck yeah.
Hopefully everybody tunes in.
Yeah, awesome. All right. Well, that is the show, man. Thank you so much. And I really appreciate having you on. And you are welcome back anytime that you would like.
Awesome, man. Thank you guys so much. Have a great night.
Yeah, you too. All right. See you, man. Oh,
Me?
You.
Yeah, buddy.
All
David
right.
Cook is the fucking best. I love
He's
that guy.
the GOAT.
He was so great. So
Reminds
fun.
me of Phil
Yeah, Phil.
Yeah.
Yeah.
so much.
Yeah.
I saw him
Love it.
today. Anyways.
So Taylor, it is your time, your show, buddy.
First of all, before we end the show, I got beef.
Oh, okay.
Neither of you realized I have new headphones on my head.
You know, I was gonna say something, but I didn't figure it was that important. But they went from pink to black.
It's like a new haircut, and no one said anything.
It's like a new haircut. so why you got new headphones, buddy?
I wanted to try something new. These are my Beats. I figured I paid a lot of money for them. I should use them. Yeah, they came with the
I bet
cord.
they sound so much better.
Yeah, they're comfier. I would say like because they have. I don't know if it's just because I'm plugged into the headphones or into the microphone, but they don't have the noise canceling that they usually do when I'm hooked up to my phone. So like I can still hear some stuff, but they're definitely comfier. I'm not like fighting for my life right now.
Right.
And I guess the sound quality is a little better. But yeah, I was like, I look like I'm in a studio with my headphones.
You do.
on.
Except for those half painted walls behind you. But outside of that, you do look like you're in a studio.
Bring David back on. I got trigonometry for him.
Yeah, man. David's awesome. I love that guy.
Fantastic. All right, my
I
watch
hope-
is telling me
I
I
hope
have to
he's
stand.
Speaking of me going back to school, 2 people have asked about the podcast and how we're doing and what's going on.
Oh yeah, did you tell them we're interviewing David Cook today?
I did, and they were like, "Oh, that's so exciting!" And I was like, "Yes." Yeah, so
I did such a massive deep dive on him today.
you did a great job. I'm very proud of you.
He's awesome.
Do you guys want to see my notes?
Yeah, I love
And
that.
then we'll close out the video. I wrote my handy dandy notebook, all of my notes about
Nice.
David Cook.
Did you listen to any
And
of
I
his
got a new
songs?
notebook.
Did you listen to any of his songs?
I can tell you what his first song was on The Idol and what his last song was on The Idol. Can you tell me that?
I cannot. do
Alrighty
that.
then. I guess we both bring some things to the table, don't we?
He was joking about the whole him and the voting thing. I guarantee you, like 1,000 of those calls were from my mother. I wanted to say that, but then it was like, better not.
That's really funny.
Absolutely.
Oh,
I
man.
think the next presidential election, they should have to karaoke, and we should have to vote for them through text message.
I mean, like RuPaul's Drag Race, they have to fight
Yeah.
to the death when they do their singing.
You know the episode of Rick and Morty when the sun gods come?
Yeah.
To keep the planet alive.
Show me what you got.
No.
Yeah, shooty.
Oh, buddy.
All
I
right.
like that game. I like that game. That
It's a
we've
fun
it's
game.
very
It's really
fun.
good.
It is a pain in the ass
To look up stuff?
to make.
Oh, I'm sure.
It is difficult to make.
I'm sure.
Just the types of stuff or to look up the stuff.
Both. It's just a very time consuming one.
No, you know how I feel about the trivia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
I'm
knew
not
we
gonna-
didn't have enough time for trivia. That's why I did that. Anywho, great
Anyway.
show, guys.
If you like today's video, go ahead and give it a big thumbs up, subscribe, and don't forget to hit that bell notification so you can get notified every time we post a new video.
Also, this is the first time that the three of us have done a show together in like a month.
A week?
A month? You and I did a show together.
Oh, yeah, Lindsay came in after. I forgot. Guys, we're going to pretend that show didn't happen.
It's one of my favorites now. I listened to it today.
Is it really good?
Oh,
I think,
dude.
listen, we were spitballing back and forth. And
It was great. If you have ADHD.
Wasn't
I
that
don't know why you're saying if.
No. I'm telling the fans. If you are somebody that might suffer with ADHD.
Do not
And
listen to this because it'll throw you the fuck off.
1-800 and get compensation.
Listen, if you have, listen to me, all right, everybody.
You.
Hey, hold up, listen. Camera one. If you have ADHD and you feel that you need a show that represents you as a person, and you're a dog that just like constantly is like, I need constant change over and over and over. That 58 minutes, actually an hour and 6 minutes we did, Taylor, was great. We covered so much in a very, very fast amount of time.
It was great.
We did the fastest Wordle that we've ever done.
Lindsay, you missed it. We were 3 rows in. We got the word
in 3. It was boom, 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 done.
That's because we got ADHD. We're twinkies in a pod.
You both did crack before you did it.
That's how I feel. You guys know the Lizzo song, the Juice song. This is my second coffee of the day, and I'm going.
I need a coffee like you wouldn't believe.
We can go get one, and then if somebody is still at my school, you can come help me.
Fuck.
Hey, I got stuff to do. I have training on Monday from 8:30 to 3:30.
Yikes.
Yeah, and then Tuesday I have a training in the morning, and I have to call parents in the afternoon. And Wednesday I have stuff I have to do, and then I have a dentist appointment at 2:30, and I will have to go back on all of those days afterwards to get things back.
Can you go to the dentist when you're pregnant?
Yeah, you just can't get x-rays. But when I went to them in February, later on that day, I had an appointment to confirm said pregnancy, but only told them I could be pregnant after the x-rays that they took.
So what you're saying is our baby might have superpowers?
Yes.
I mean, the way he punches my bladder, he could have superpowers.
I'm giving birth to the Hulk. Well,
you're
Lindsay's
not doing shit.
Lindsay's giving birth to the Hulk.
Lindsay's giving birth to my baby.
Yeah,
keep this lore going.
Yes, yeah,
Okay.
it's canon now.
No, that's your cousin.
So speaking of American Idol winners, I believe season 8's winner,
Taylor Hicks.
Taylor Hicks. I believe he's going to be on the show as well.
I thought that was confirmed.
Can we make him and David fight till the death?
Not confirmed tomorrow.
Different people, different thing tomorrow.
Oh, yeah. Never mind.
We're putting this all on blast. We're still recording.
Yeah, it's fine.
Oh,
No, I believe Taylor Hicks is also coming on the show. I told his people that we were having David on, so I think I'm pitching it as I would like to do an American Idol series.
Yeah.
Yes, Taylor in the back.
Can we bring him and David both on and make them do a beach off?
We can make them do games against each other. That would be really fun.
Okay.
Anywho, that is the show, guys.
I think you should start posting these notes as pictures on Instagram so people can make fun of my grammar and your spelling.
Nah,
because it says, "Are still close with said name?"
It's all right.
Do you perform?
Yeah, it's okay. I was in a hurry.
Perform.
I was in a hurry.
Not perform.
Listen, perform is a hard word to spell. All right, that's a hard word.
Letters.
It's hard.
I was in a rush, a big time rush. All right, it's been real, everybody. Peace.
Thanks for listening to the Hook and Bridge podcast.